Right, and welcome to another Radio Free Syria interview, everyone. Today we're interviewing someone who's set up his own charity from his own personal initiative and personal money with the aim of delivering aid to Syrians personally. He's raised several hundred so far, and he plans to go out to Syria himself eventually. Cody Langford, founder of Remember Syria, a charity based in the US, is with us now. Hello, Cody.
Hello. How are you today?
Oh, I'm fine, thanks. Yeah, not so bad. Just got a few questions to power through. So, what kind of motivated you to begin this work? Kind of when did you begin to feel the urge to act?
It all started watching it on a live feed, and just seeing what was going on was just terrible. It just crushed me because I just visualized it in a live manner to where I was seeing it over the computer, and it just broke my heart that this could be happening here in our own country, and sadly it's over there, and it's just chaos and madness and people dying that shouldn't be dying, that need the help, and all sorts of things like that.
I understand what you mean. I mean, social media videos and whatnot, that's kind of motivated everyone, from the foreign fighters who've gone over there to people like me and Matthew Van Dyke, who went to film documentaries and things. So I think the role of the media is quite important, because a while ago I don't even think some of us would have known about this, but now thankfully we can reach out to people we would never before have had contact with. So I think would you say social media has been kind of crucial to your work in all this, to awareness?
Yes, it has been, and it's guided me a lot on letting me know what's really going on by getting these live videos from people who are at demonstrations or just in their villages, showing us destruction of towns and just people who have died and the names of them and everything such as that.
So when did you properly set up your website and start to gather funding? Was it a recent thing, or has it been building up over time?
It's kind of been building up over time. The website finally launched in April of this year. I've been planning it since about late January of 2012. And finally things have been coming along. It's just a very, very hard undertaking at times by myself. It gets overwhelming. But things are coming well. Just a lot of planning, a lot of making sure all the loose ends are met, such as like the website itself. There's no problems with the website and PayPal, and make sure that the money will go through, and make sure there's no things wrong on my end. Make sure everything's covered, and new ideas and new strategies, such as like a donation tracker I just added on my website, where everybody who donates can see they can track their donations. They can click on the link, and they can see that their donation tracker have an ID number, and that's how you be identified. So it's kind of anonymous, so your name's not out there. You just look at your number, and then you see that your donation's been there. And once I go to Syria, it'll all be tracked back. Once I deliver it, I'll say where it'll be delivered, and then the people that got it. And also, I hope that we can video the distribution process of it. But we will for sure take pictures of it. But I'd like to have a video of it, and where it's going to the people, and what the story is of the town. You know, what they are going through.
When did you do you have any local backing, or is it mainly backed via the internet, your campaign?
It's somewhat both. Some of my donations have been local. Most of them have. But most of my backing otherwise is online, and from like Syrian American activists and just other activists, American activists, and so forth.
Have you managed to raise, say, much funding? I know it's taken a while for you to build up, but has funding been sufficient so far, or are you still deficient in terms of money?
At the beginning, I did not expect it, but I achieved $332 in donations, which I did not think at all that would happen, and it did. But now, for about a month, we've been sitting in a stalemate, sitting at the same dollar, $332, and I also plan to, when we hit $500, that I'll send $100 of my own money to the donations itself. So that'll just be towards the clothes, the food, the baby milk, anything that's needed at that time.
Yeah, I understand your problem. When I set up the fund for my documentary, I was stuck at, say, 100, 140, 130 for a few months, and then suddenly, once I was in Syria, and thankfully I had still access to the internet, money shot up, and then since I ran out of money in Antakya, I was kind of transferring money on the go, you know, for paying my hotel bills and everything, so it can be kind of touch and go, but there's always, I think what we both have thankfully been able to rely on is that there's always good people around which will donate to us for our work. So I mean, I think a big thanks for both of us should go out to all those people. And in regard to people on the ground, have you kind of established any contact within Syria which would help you on your travels? Because it is quite dangerous out there. There's a lot of suspicious people around.
Yes. All the time there's a lot of chaotic movement going on in Syria, and now that with what's going on, and they have a lot of checkpoints locked down and stuff like that, it does make it a little harder, and you got to plan a little more and take a little more time to plan and make sure things are right. Other means, I do have contacts in Syria. I have multiple contacts. It's always good to have a lot of contacts to talk to, and not just one, because you don't know if one's going to be reliable or not. So you kind of got to talk to more and kind of get a feel for each one. Me personally, I like to talk to multiple contacts just to feel each one of them out, to get a different feeling for each one, and to see which one is more reliable and efficient for myself.
Of course, you can't really work in regime-held territory, so it's kind of liberated territory is the best option, but of course it's a double-edged sword because there are jihadists around. It's the borders are very porous, so I think I'd always say, I think, like, take a few months to build up your contacts just to be sure, because if you there are people out there who are shabiha, who put themselves out there under the facade of activists and lure people into captivity. So I'd of course, speaking as someone who's been there, I'd say I'd advise caution.
Yes, exactly.
Is your aid going to a wide group of people, or people of a certain age gaps, in certain areas, or is it anyone across the board who needs it?
To be honest, my plan is to get across the border to who needs it. After my first trip to Syria, maybe I'll understand more what is needed, what is going on, everything such as that. And my second trip will be way more efficient, more better strategized, because I've already been there. I kind of already know what's going on. The first one is mainly just to get it out there, just to get the aid there, and that's it. Just to make sure I made it there, and to make sure the aid made it there, and everything was okay. And then after that, I will go on and plan more about bigger things.
Fantastic. I mean, in regard to aid, say, how much should I hypothetically donate to your charity to make a substantial difference?
Oh, to donate, that I don't ask of any amount. It's just all from your heart, from what you feel inside. You feel like you should donate. That's pretty much all I ask on that, because I do not want to force anybody to donate. That is not what I'm asking. It's just to help people who need it way more than ourselves. Like myself, I'm for America, I am living as a poor man right now, to be honest with you. But I am thankful for everything I have, because when I see Syria, they have nothing, and it's like I could have a bomb fall from the sky right now and just kill me instantly like that, and it's a sad deal that it has to be like that, and it shouldn't be.
So I think you kind of brought this up. You know, I think this is a point you wanted to illustrate. But how do we know donations are used properly? Would that be, say, via your tracker and your website? Does that kind of illustrate how donations are used? Does it keep a record?
Yes, it'll keep a record, and then also the videos will be posted online, and the distribution process of where it was at, where it was distributed to, and who was with me at the time, and just a lot of information to really tell the people who donated that their donation went through. Unlike other organizations who you just donate to and that's all you do. You just donate and they send you a forward email saying thank you. You know, if anything, I will send a personal email or a personal letter to everybody who donated.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's arguably why a lot of people don't donate, because some people are naturally suspicious. They worry that some could possibly embezzle funds. They don't know where their money's going. But I think your organisation,
Yes.
it kind of gives a lot. There's a lot of accountability there, and I think that's probably why it's been successful so far. Because I think you've established yourself with some credibility. Is this a
Yes.
501c3 organisation, like a registered organisation so far?
Right now, it is not. I'm still in the process of making a registered organization. I recently started finding that I probably should do that, but right now I want to say it's a project of mine, just to see how it goes. I do not want to risk putting all the money and effort into that when I could be giving it to the Syrians. So first off, if I can give it to the Syrians, then maybe I'll go ahead and do it. But right now I'm working on a mission statement right now to get registered and so forth. Just little things that I try to work on one thing at a time, make sure that's done, and then I go to the next thing and that's done.
Fantastic, yeah. And as I say, I don't think there's any need to worry, because I wasn't exactly a registered organisation myself, and I still managed. If you know the right people, it's very easy to enter Syria via Turkey, via the crossings, or via the river. But of course, I'd advise caution, because the Islamic State of Iraq, you know, we all know what that's like. Has checkpoints
Yes.
around Bab al-Hawa. So if you're going to enter Syria, again, a bit of advice, I would advise you to maybe look for alternative routes, or at least be with a big group of people if you're going to go through areas that could be dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and there are many routes that I have planned, that people that I speak to that are really, like, they run some hospitals, and I wish I had the names for them right now, but he runs a hospital, but there's many people besides him that I just speak to that have different routes, and that's what I'm trying to figure out too, is those routes to get through those bad spots, to make sure I make it their safety to distribute it. That's why it takes a little bit of time to make it there.
Of course, and there are some people, there are some quite cynical people in America who criticise activists like us, and they would say, how come your attention is more on Syria than their own country in America? Why are you not focusing on American issues first? How would you respond to people who slam our efforts like that?
That, to me, I receive that question quite a bit, to be honest with you, and the fact is how I think is we are not Syria. We do not have bombs falling every day for 2 years throughout the whole country, just killing innocent civilians discriminately, and just being sniped along the street just across it. We don't have snipers around here just sniping people wildly like in Syria, and that's yes, and that's how I think. I mean, America, yes, we are in a bad situation. I know that. And don't worry, America, I will be here. But when the things come, you know, like, I gotta worry about the bigger things and stuff like that, and
The bigger picture.
and like I said, yes, and like you said before about what got me into Syria is because of what was going on. Like, this is not happening to us American people, and that's not right. We would not let it happen to our own people at all.
Yeah, I'm afraid the concept of Western entitlement does unfortunately come to mind. You don't really know what it's like unless you experience it for yourself, and I think that's a problem that activists like us have to deal with a lot. People, skeptics who have kind of lived in a relatively sheltered society compared to the society that Syrians today have to live in, criticising us, based on what they know of their countries rather than what we know of what's going on in Syria, the evidence, what people think. So I think a positive aspect of our work is that we can maybe also change people's minds along the way if we can record our work as we go along via cameras, via documentation. So I think that's a strong point of your work. I think everything's documented and everything's accountable, which might silence those critics.
Yes, and that is something I plan on doing also at the same time while I'm there. I can't say full-on documentary because my main objective is just the humanitarian aid. I can't work on too many objectives because you cannot accomplish anything unless you focus on one thing fully. That's just how I think. But I want to record things such as just what's the destruction and everything like that, to show people this is Syria, this is what is going on, things such as that.
Of course. Cody Langford, thank you for this interview. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for interviewing me, Ben.
No trouble. Good luck and keep safe, because there's even in liberated areas there are a lot of suspicious people around. We don't want you disappearing.
No, not at all. And if anything, you will hear about it. And
of course, we'll be keeping an eye out for you. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right, thank you.